Good morning, everyone. How's it going? How's it going? I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the show. Just allow me to get my leaderboard centered. And what's up? Today is Sunday, the 4th of February, 2024. The party is started. We are in full swing for this month, man. Let me tell you, man, things are crazy for me right now. Like, there's so much going on that I'm trying to juggle at once. And I'm trying to do it without taking time away from streaming. And this is the most difficult part. For example, today's React Day. Not React Stream, React Day. All day long. The entirety of this Sunday, I am reacting. First, I'm reacting on the DSP Reacts channel to the weekly show DSP versus the Internet and celebrating the 1-year anniversary of that channel existing, because it was in early February last year that I rebranded it and relaunched it. Then, on the night stream tonight, we're heading over to my newly rebranded channel, DSP Throwback, for my second ever stream there, the Retro React to Dark Souls 1, which you guys voted for over the course of this week. You said, we want to see Dark Souls 1 again. That's exciting. I actually can't wait to head over there and chill with you guys tonight and enjoy the classic and very flawed, hilarious playthrough with you firsthand, right? But then on top of that, I also have to film an hour-long react for a patron today. So no exaggeration, today I am literally reacting to stuff all day long. Zero gameplay. The only controller I'm touching is to press pause or play on a video. It's pretty wild. Now the thing is, I like doing that. I absolutely enjoy that. But, you know, it's going to be a different kind of day. I'm crazy, being pulled in a million directions. I actually have another private video to make for a patron tomorrow. It's that time of year, tax season here in the United States, and I got to start working on my tax stuff, at least the initial work, and I got to get some of that done by the end of the streaming week, right? And then coming up, we got the Super Bowl bash coming up. It's like, wow, it's like all this stuff in addition to just my normal streams, all happening at once. So hopefully you guys are enjoying everything I'm putting out. Today is going to be a more laid-back podcast, and what I mean by that is nothing too crazy to talk about besides a weird thing that seems to be a bug right now with YouTube, and two particular videos that I uploaded yesterday. So we'll discuss that. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but outside of that, there's not much. There's no real game news today or anything going on. What's hilarious is people are acting like this news that Xbox is going to start taking some of their exclusive games and publishing them cross-platform is news. It's not news. It's business. It's normal stuff. But people are so desperate for clickbait views, they're making streams and videos about, oh my god, Xbox is now going to sell like Hi-Fi Rush and other games on other consoles, and nobody cares. It's bullshit. So there really is no news today to speak of. So let's chill. Let's hang out today, shall we? Let's talk about what I did yesterday, and give me my thoughts on that. Let's review the schedule for the rest of the week, because now it's kind of set in stone, and we know what I'm doing. And let's talk about this weird YouTube glitch that's going on, and just kind of relax. More relaxing podcast. Remember, when this podcast ends today, we're all going to collectively head over to DSP React for episode 50 of DSP versus the Internet. That's right. We've done 50 shows on that channel in the last year. It's pretty crazy. So it should be a good one. All right, let's do it. So, yesterday, what was I up to? Well, a good variety of stuff. First of all, on yesterday's podcast, I had my annual review of the fact that I am never involved in DMCA takedowns on YouTube. I don't participate in them. I don't condone them. I don't support them. In fact, I condemn them. And I hate the fact that people fool YouTube's very broken, very piss-poor DMCA takedown system and try to impersonate me to take down other people's content. All right? And I've even said outright many times, I've tried to contact YouTube. I've posted up my conversations publicly with YouTube on those issues, right? And sadly, they don't care. YouTube's opinion is we don't want to get involved in anything. If you have a problem, get a lawyer. So there you have it. But anyway, I explained the whole thing in yesterday's podcast. Give it a look if you missed it, so you know what I'm talking about. We jumped into a mini game, and I say that because it really is a small game. Silent Hill: The Short Message. This game was surprise dropped on Wednesday's Sony State of Play broadcast. People had thought this was going to be a full-fledged Silent Hill game, but surprise, surprise, it was not. It is just a 2.5-hour first-person, narrative-based survival game. Once again, people say walking simulator. That's very, very true for what it is. You basically play a girl in high school who is walking around this abandoned building that's all decrepit and reading logs and news articles about what's happened to her town and these other girls in her school. Girls are texting her, asking her if she's okay. It's an ongoing mystery about, did some of these girls die? Are they ghosts? What happened to them? And some of these stories are atrociously horrible. Like terrible things happen to these girls, at least if the story is to be believed. The graphics are great, I would say, for what it is. And I would say, sadly, it's not scary. There is one monster that tries to get you the whole game. And it looks kind of weird. I don't want to spoil for those who didn't see it yet, but it's one of those games, think Amnesia. You really can't fight. All you can do is run, and you need to try to outwit or outrun the monster by going through certain order of areas, going through certain doors, and not getting, run into by the monster, because the monster will kill you if it catches you. But if you do die, then it basically respawns you anyway, so it's kind of an infinite loop. And a lot of people were like, well, it's like Groundhog Day. Kind of, except you're kind of trapped in this nightmare world. Is it bad? No, it's not, especially for the fact that they're not charging for this thing. It's not bad. Again, if you like games like Amnesia, you'll probably think it's a decent game. It's definitely in that same vein. It is a bit angsty. It's 3 teen girls involved in the plot. So if you don't like teen angst and high school stuff, you're probably not going to like this game. Because that is the subject matter. But overall, it wasn't a bad time. The final sequence is incredibly annoying because you're being chased by this monster. And you have to get through a series of rooms and hallways to escape the monster. What you need to do is unlock a door. To unlock the door, you have to find 4 drawings hidden in the environment. So you have to be going through all these different doors along these hallways. And it really is a labyrinth. It's a big maze trying to figure out how to get around. You don't know where the pictures are. The game has no map. And the monster that's chasing you can teleport around. So you could be like running around. Oh, I found the second picture. I found the third picture. As soon as you grab the third picture, turn, monster's right there. Done. Start over from the beginning. And this sequence, if you know what you're doing, can take over like 5 minutes. But if you're wandering around looking for the pictures, this could take upwards of 20 plus minutes. Okay? So, it's annoying. I got it done. It took me about 15 minutes to do it, and it was very annoying, but I got it done, and then you see the finale of the game. The only real negative that I have to say about the game, because it's hard to criticize a game that's free. They give it away for free. They didn't charge you anything, so the only thing you really invested was your time, right? The story, much like a lot of recent survival horror games in the last 5+ years, did not have an ending that made sense. And what I mean by that is the game has a story sequence to end it. By the way, I gotta close my blinds because it looks like it's way too bright in here. Like, you can't even barely see the color on my ghost lamp, right? Hold on a second here. Let's try that. Maybe that'll look a little better. Actually, immediately the blue looks more defined, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, so basically you get to the end of the game, and this story sequence plays out, and I can't really explain it fully without spoiling it, okay? So I don't want to spoil the whole game for you guys. But basically what happens is, okay, I was curious. I was like, is it changing color properly? You know, this lamp is old, so it very well may break. The thing is, this thing, you can get it all over the place. I could just get a replacement. No, that's fine. It turned the right colors. Okay. So, you get to the end of the game, and it has the story resolution. And the story resolution makes no sense whatsoever, because if you've been following the game, all right, a character involved in the end was already supposed to be dead. Okay? So it's like, wait, I've been following the story of your game, and according to the story, it said that this character died at one point, but then at the end of the game, they're still there. It's like, huh? Now, does that mean that everyone in the game is dead? If that's the case, then it doesn't matter, and the game's a waste of time. So that's the point I'm making, is like they write it so ambiguously, and they do it on purpose, so then they like, oh, well, you figure it out. It's open to interpretation. No, it's not. Your writing is bad. You wrote your own plot into a corner, and your cop-out of, oh, well, it's your own interpretation is not, that's exactly what it is. It's a cop-out. It's not satisfactory. When we are reading a story, when we are watching a movie or a TV show, when we are playing a video game, we expect a narrative. A narrative with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it has to make sense. If it doesn't, you failed as a writer. Nobody wants to sink time into a game and at the end of the game say, I have no idea what just happened. That means you wasted your time. And for a game that's narrative-based, that's a problem, and that really was what irked me. Like, I wasn't disappointed at the 2.5-hour end of the game. I was like, all right, 2.5 hours, it was all right. But I wish I knew what had happened in the plot, and I don't. They wrote it poorly. So that's definitely one thing that that I have to criticize about it, to be fair, okay? But overall, it's not that bad. Now, if you want to see it, it's live on the channel. It's 3 parts. Each part is about an hour long. But a weird glitched thing has been happening to this playthrough on YouTube, to which I don't understand. All right? And allow me to explain what I mean by that. So, I uploaded these videos, as I always do. All right? In the normal fashion that I always do. And they were live on YouTube overnight. And I even made part 1 the featured video on my channel. So people come to my channel will see part 1, highlight it, maybe check it out, right? Later in the day, I do my late stream, which is Like a Dragon Infinite Well. And what I do typically is when I go to upload my night videos, my night stream, I'll check on comments that have come in during the day to approve or whatever. Because as you guys might or might not know, because I am one of the most harassed people on YouTube, I have a comment system on that basically YouTube auto-filters comments. If it sees anything that's really offensive, it just blocks it outright without me even having to do anything. And then everything else kind of goes into a queue, and it allows me to approve comments, respond to comments, and stuff like that. And it allows me to weed out the bad actors, because every once in a while we get a bunch of idiots who come in from some detractor's video or some moron stream, and they think that they're just going to drop like 20 negative comments that are all insulting, gross stuff no one wants to see on my playthroughs and videos, and this allows that to not happen. Previously, before I had the system in place, I had comments disabled for like 2 years, because the comments got so toxic on my videos at one point. So we're talking back like 2017. The comments were literally so toxic that my actual longtime fans and viewers asked me to turn them off. Back then, there was no filtering system, and people were like, I can't even look. If I look at your comments, it's a bunch of racist words. It's a bunch of people doxing your address. It's a bunch of, really disgusting stuff. I can't even read your video comments anymore. So can you just turn them off so that way we can at least watch the video and not be distracted by some of the most heinous stuff we've ever seen on the internet? So I did. Then YouTube instituted this change where now you have this filtering process, and now I have that on my comments. So basically, I had everything set up normally. And when I went to approve comments on videos, there were none there. And I'm like, why are there no comments? That's weird. It's a new playthrough. There's always comments on a new playthrough. So I go and look at the videos. Zero comments, zero comments. What's going on? I go and look. Comments are disabled. What? I use a series of what's called uploading defaults. And those uploading defaults are the same settings for every video. So you might notice on any video I upload, it has the same kind of default body of text in the description of the video, because that's an uploading default. One of my uploading defaults is comments on. So why would the comments be off on the videos? Doesn't seem to make sense. Weird part is, this was only applying to parts 1 and 2. Part 3, the comments were on. So there were a few comments on the final part. Notably, one of the comments was, hey, are you aware that comments are off on parts 1 and 2? And I was like, what is going on? So I turned them on, and immediately when I turned comments on, I noticed that someone had commented on part 1 before comments were turned off. But it was up for approval. So I approved the comment, made sure that it got on there, okay? And I left it as is. And it looked like everything was fine, overnight. And I go to sleep and I wake up this morning and there's no comments on the videos again. I'm like, what? And I go to look and the comments are off again. What? I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is a glitch with YouTube. I don't know if this is YouTube actually taking action. Because some people have said, like Gaia here in the stream chat is saying, so YouTube has a policy that if a video receives a certain number of bad, toxic, insulting, harmful comments, they'll just auto-disable comments on a video. Which I understand, but my video has a filtration system on. So that should... The people who get their comments auto-turned off are the people who just let everything fly and don't actually put effort into, making sure their comments are good for their audience. So then YouTube will take action. But for me, I have a filter system in place. So it legit doesn't make sense that the comments would have, auto-filtered like that or shut off like that. Some people had surmised, well, the game has situations where the girls in it are talking about self-harm, suicide, okay? And because of that, maybe that's what it is. Because videos on YouTube frequently will get flagged for topics like that and get demonetized. Well, the videos aren't demonetized. The videos are fine. They're monetized. There's ads on them. They're live. The only thing that irks me, it's not a big deal. This is not a giant playthrough. This is not a huge deal at all. It was a one-off thing. But what disappoints me is, I'm playing this game and I'm saying right at the end of the video, hey guys, what do you think about this game right now? Leave some comments. Let me know your opinions. I'd love to hear them and maybe I can respond to them. This definitely is a game that could have stirred up conversation. And then no one could converse. No one could speak because the comments were off. And I don't know what caused it. I'm legit confused as to what is causing it. So what I'm going to have to do now is keep my eyes peeled, and every day when I'm uploading, I'm going to have to keep a lookout on my videos and say, are the comments on? Are people commenting? Not to say that I get a ton of comments. I don't. I'll usually get a ton of comments on the first few parts of any new playthrough, especially if it's a playthrough people are hyped for. But outside of that, I don't get a lot of video comments. Why? Because people are just kind of used to the comments being off for so many years that a lot of people just don't bother. And that's sad, because I like it when people comment on my video. I like having conversation on the videos. I like people having that social aspect to my videos on YouTube. It sucks that for many years I didn't have it, because YouTube didn't have this filtration system. And I just couldn't have racist, toxic, nasty stuff all over my videos. It wasn't going to fly. So it's very confusing. And I don't know. I don't know what caused it. So, hey, now you can watch and comment. Please do. If you're interested in the playthrough, it's an anomaly. I don't know why the game was made. I don't know why it's only 2.5 hours long. I don't know why it was free. There's a lot of questions around this game. I'd like to hear your opinion on it. I really would. For the few people that did comment, thanks. But, you know, it's like 2-3 people now because the comments were off. So I'd like to hear your thoughts. Please comment on the videos. Okay? Cool. Last night, I played Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. It went really well. And what I mean by that is we made tons of progress. I did like 2 giant major story segments. And I unlocked a bunch of other stuff in the game. Like there's a Crazy Taxi-esque side game called Crazy... I think it's Crazy Eats? Crazy Eats? And it's supposed to play like Crazy Taxi. Like they're actually trying to mimic old school Crazy Taxi. We were riding through the streets collecting items, doing stunts, and then you land and deliver food. Instead of picking someone up and delivering them to their location like you're a taxi driver, you're picking up food and you're delivering it to hungry people in the street. This is the replacement for the Can game. Remember there was the Can collection game in Like a Dragon 1? So this is basically, you know, the difference here is that they tried to change it and be something that Sega was already known for, which is kind of neat. We unlocked the Pound Mates stuff, which is kind of fun. The Pound Mates is when you summon someone to assist you in battle, similar to like summon monsters in Final Fantasy games. That's what Pound Mates are in Like a Dragon. So we got that unlocked. So we did a lot of side stuff. We leveled up, got new abilities, did some tough fights. There was a boss fight, and then there was actually a mini boss fight that was tougher than the boss fight in the story we had done. It was a really good stream. I'd say about 2 to 2.5 hours of progress. And what I'm trying to do, all right, is essentially I am trying to get to the point where I unlock the Dondoko Island, which is the simulated island that you do in this game, similar to Animal Crossing. And the reason I want to unlock that soon is because my wife and I want to do co-op gameplay in it, and we were thinking the absolute perfect thing would be to unlock that and then have our first ever co-op session together in gaming ever, live on stream on Thanksgiving on Valentine's Day night, which would be February 14th, you know, a little over a week from today. So I'm like, that would be perfect. So I got to keep making major narrative progress every time I play the game. And not to say that I'm just going to rush through the story and not do any side content, because I did do a good amount of side content last night, but I want to unlock it and get this going. So we can, at once a week, maybe do a nice co-op stream. That would be super fun, right? So, let's see what happens. Great progress last night. Great story. I hope you'll check out the videos. If you didn't, they're fun. They're funny. It's good, entertaining stuff. The people that are showing up for the playthrough, listen, the playthrough's not getting nearly as many views as my other stuff I'm doing. But the people that are showing up are having a ton of fun. We're engaging. We're having good conversation. We're talking about the game and the culture of Hawaii, which is really cool because we're not just talking about Japanese culture anymore. Now we're actually talking about the culture of Hawaii. And you know what? One thing that happened last night in the game, I was not expecting them to address, and they did. So all these years, I've been talking about how in Japanese culture, there's this weird thing where they are so hyper-focused on career and their jobs and making money and that level of success that a lot of Japanese people don't focus on personal relationships. And that's why in Japan, you have entire industries based on this, such as the hostess or host cafes, the cabaret clubs, where you're going in there, you're drinking, you're eating, you're buying stuff for this date who isn't really a date. It's a virtual relationship. You know it's not real. You know it's not going to amount to anything, but you go in there and you dump all this money on it, right? It's always been a part of the Yakuza games that I was always like blown away that this exists in Japan. Like, I can't believe it's part of their real culture. It's wild to me because here in the United States, something, you know, you would never even think to do. Go on a virtual date and spend, you know, hundreds to thousands of dollars for what? You're getting nothing out of it, right? So, last night, one of the plot lines in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth was that a Japanese person, one of these guys who's gullible and likely would have been one of the people to drop tons of money at, say, a hostess cafe in Japan, is getting scammed by literally everyone in Hawaii. Everyone around him is asking for money for something different. One girl puts a lei around his neck and gives him directions to his hotel and asks for a donation. One guy has a parrot land on his shoulder, takes a picture, and then asks for a donation. A woman gives him a t-shirt, says it's free, but then asks for a donation for the shirt. So basically it's not free. There's even a cop who claims he saw him jaywalking across the street and says, I'll let it slide if you donate to the police department. It's like, what? So essentially what they're saying, this is social commentary. They're saying that the Japanese people are sadly gullible and will fall for these schemes. And 100% the plot line of this guy, he's starting to have a romantic feeling for the girl who gave him the lei, but she's just basically using him for money. And you just cannot help but make the parallel comparison to the hostess club businesses in Japan. And you're like, yeah, I mean, are they not being self-aware in this mission and saying we're aware of what it is and it's kind of pathetic? I'm just saying, you know, that can't be healthy for their culture, for their minds, to have an entire industry set up that you know it's all fake and all it does is basically takes money away from people who should be having real meaningful relationships and can't, but it takes advantage of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, the equivalent of that to me, no exaggeration, would be these fucking streamers on like Twitch, you know, freaking Amaranth and Pokimane, and I know they're leaving Twitch or have left Twitch, but you know what I'm saying? These women who portray themselves in a certain way to almost make you think like they care about you in that way, like a relationship, just to take money from you, right? Only they're doing it to an audience of thousands at once and raking in millions of dollars in benefits, you know? And it's like, that's the evolution of it. The hostess club then became the online streamer, right? And then think about that, how much safer that is, because you're not in person with someone who could be crazy or whatever. It's just wild to me, you know, that this is the situation that humanity is in. So anyway, that was interesting. That's something that we discussed last night. Check out the videos. It'll be pretty good. All right. I can't wait for more. We're playing that again tomorrow night. And I'm basically playing it 2 more times this week, 3 more times next week. And within those streams, I'm hoping we can unlock the Dondoko Island, and then I can do it with my wife on Valentine's Day night. It's not the end of the world if we don't. But man, I would really, 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 really hope that we can unlock it so we can start doing that co-op. That would really be awesome. Okay, we'll see what happens. I know it unlocks in chapter 16. I'm in 13. One more stream in 13. I should beat 13. And then I've heard that one of the chapters coming up is shorter. And then there's a chapter that's longer. But if I can get through those, then when we get to 16, then we get this unlocked. And also, this is good. I know for a fact, because my wife told me, if you skip side content now, you could still do it later anyway. So I could essentially kind of turbo through the story, get to chapter 16, unlock Dondoko Island, and then when I play the game, take my time to go back and do all the side content that I rushed through because I wanted to unlock it, you see? So there you go. All right. Anyway, so great content yesterday, good fun, good games, had a great time, and excited for the rest of the week, right? Now, today is React Day, as you already know, as I said. Right after this podcast, we're going to head over to DSP React for DSP versus the Internet, episode 50. This week is actually the 1-year anniversary of DSP Reacts. Now, it's not the 1-year anniversary of the show. The show actually, I think, first broadcast, I want to say on the 17th, February 17th. But, yeah, the channel's been live for about a year. And it's been an interesting project. There's been a lot of different kinds of content on that channel. I am looking forward to more content on that channel this year. You know, one thing we haven't even talked about is like a tier maker that we could do or stuff like that. But I'm looking forward to it. All right. And also reviews. Like, I want to review stuff. I'm just waiting for stuff to come out for me to actually watch and review. There really hasn't been anything recently, which is actually a good thing because right now I wouldn't even have time to review anything regardless. I'm so busy with everything I'm juggling. But I would like to review stuff this year too. Okay. So anyway, good year, and I'm excited for this week's show. By the way, this is now week 2 of me having the new system of tiered memberships to do the show, and let me tell you, we're right back to normal. We have just as many clips submitted now as we ever had before. The show's going smoothly, no problems. This whole nonsensical trolling with the fake memberships did not affect the channel in any way, shape, or form, and we are smooth sailing moving forward. So thank you to everyone who was there for that little adjustment. It's looking good, okay? The future looks bright. All right, so that is coming up, and then tonight on my late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it's my second ever stream over on DSP Throwback. Now, I want to make everyone aware, this stream will start on time and should run smoothly. The last stream that I tried to do there 2 weeks ago started late because of technical difficulties and didn't run smoothly because I didn't have everything set up. This time around, Nightbot is set up. I should have some moderators in place, and pop-ups and everything should be working properly this time around. I had enough time to actually set it up ahead of time and test it and get it working. Unless something breaks between now and then, which could happen, you know, everything should be fine for tonight's stream. And yes, I will be live reacting to the Dark Souls 1 playthrough for about 2 hours tonight, and I hope that you guys will join me for that. It should be very fun, okay? Super good stuff. Join me tonight for some retro throwback action. Then tomorrow, we're back to full-time gaming. I'll be picking a new character in Tekken 8, and right now, the 3 characters that I'm leaning towards are Kuma, Jack 8, and Yoshimitsu. I don't know which one of those I'm going to pick. I have to decide tonight, because tonight I have to actually watch some technique stuff, for those characters, or one of those characters that I'm going to try, and try to basically learn them quickly. Like, what's their best strategies and moves, and then try to apply it tomorrow. What I'm going to do is go into training mode and test some combos and strategies first, and then go into the, what do they call it? The, not player matches in this one. They call it something else. Quick match. And we're just going to do casualized quick matches trying to learn Yoshimitsu. If I feel confident enough to go to ranked, I will. But I don't think tomorrow we're going to be doing ranked because I need to learn this character from the ground up. If I pick Yoshimitsu, if it's Kuma, it's Kuma. If it's Jack 8, it's Jack 8, whoever it is. But yeah, I'm going to look into it and see who I want to use. And go from there. It's going to be probably one of those 3 characters. But let me know your opinion over the course of the day. And I will then try to quickly learn some basics for that character tonight and apply that tomorrow on the stream. All right? Tomorrow night's late stream, more like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is going to be great. Tuesday, the return of Baldur's Gate 3. And then Tuesday night will be Pal World, my weekly late-night Pal World chill stream, where we will continue on with exploration, catching of pals, leveling up. Eventually, we're going to head back and try to beat the first tower boss, which now I'm sure we could probably do way more damage to. I think I just crafted like a new bow, a bunch of new weapons, all kinds of stuff. So that'll be fun. And then Wednesday, more Baldur's Gate 3 and more Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and that's the streaming week. So, no, I'm not playing Suicide Squad. Man, is the internet destroying that game. The internet is just taking a giant, like, dance on its grave. Seriously, it's pretty bad. But then again, we all knew it was going to be bad. It's not like we saw the previews and we're on the fence. When you saw that game at first, you knew it was bad. And now it's out and everyone's like, yeah, it's really bad. So, I'm glad I'm not playing it. And, no, I have no real plans to play that Foam Stars game. I would like to just keep focusing on the stuff I'm doing right now so I can keep making solid progress in everything we're doing and you know, hopefully, like I said, unlocking Dondoko Island in time. That's kind of my focus, okay? By the way, do I have this on dark blue? I do. Because this would be light blue. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, the dark blue looks better for today, I think. Okay. So anyway, that is what's going on this week. I hope that sounds good to everybody. Obviously, if anything else is going on I'm not aware of, let me know. And then, of course, the next big thing is next weekend. On Saturday, February 10th, it is my Super Bowl bash. There will be booze. There will be food. There will be special NFL attire that I'll be swapping out during the day. And there will be games. There's going to be a simulation match where I'm going to have the Kansas City Chiefs play against the San Francisco 49ers in Madden 2023. Yes, I know that's the old one, but that's the one that's free on Game Pass. And I'll commentate over it. But in addition, we're also going to do other gameplay. What will it be? I don't know. That's up to you. We might just do it on the fly. But, you know, you have all these options. We could do some Street Fighter 6 for the first time in ages. We could do some Tekken 8. We could do online multiplayer of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which actually has an update just a few days before. So it might actually have new maps and stuff there. I'd be down for any of that. Plus, I'll be drinking. So it'd be kind of funny to do some of that stuff while buzzed, I think. Tubs, yes, it is the active players, because from what I'm to understand, they update the rosters in these games. So when I boot up this Madden, it'll actually update the roster and have the current rosters play each other. That's what people told me anyway. So, anyway, so that'll be fun. And my wife's going to make some food they'll have over the course of the day. It's going to be more of a hangout session than anything else. This is not intended to be a serious business stream. This is more like a hangout stream where people will come by, chill with me, enjoy my company. You know, we'll talk. Well, you know, I'm sure we'll talk sports, but we'll talk other things as well. Do some gameplay, have a few snacks and food. You know what I mean? It's more to be just a relaxing stream rather than hyper focused on, oh my God, we've got to do this and this and this during the stream, and it must, you know, it's not like that. It's not, oh, it's a marathon where you got to play 5 games or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, now wait, Demon in the Corner says you could do a 10-hour trial of Madden 24. Is that true? Madden 24, Xbox Series XS. Nope. It's got Standard Edition, Deluxe Edition, and Not Sold Separately Edition. It says if you have... Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I think it just said there's a free trial with EA Play. Hold on a second. I think I just saw it. Yeah. Yes, it worked. EA Play, because EA Play is part of Game Pass, so I could do it for 10 hours. Yes, we could do this. Thank you, Demon in the Corner. That was a big win right there. Now I can actually, we could play the new one. I don't know how to set it up for the sim match. You'll have to help me do that on the Super Bowl Bash. But hey, that worked. All right, cool. I didn't even realize you get yeah, I just did it install. So of course it won't start till you boot it, because it says 10 hours of gameplay, right? Well, the sim ain't gonna take 10 hours. Well, that's cool. All right, neat. We'll have that install, and we'll be doing that for the Super Bowl event. There you go. All right, see. Now that we're actually we're talking about this and we're focusing on it, we're getting stuff done. We're planning stuff out. We're making waves. We're making progress. That's what it's all about. Thank you guys for helping me with this. Keep in mind, this event is as much yours as it is mine. Yeah, I'll be sitting here hanging out with you all day, but what you want to do together is, you know, it's up to you. So yeah, let's talk. Let's figure it out, right? I don't know what you guys want to do, but hey, that worked very well, right? It really did. You know, I was thinking too, maybe we should do a segment of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And I know it won't be for everyone, but at least if we play that a little bit that day, we'll be able to actually make progress in the game to get towards Dondoko Island. Because keep in mind, because I'm doing that marathon, that's taking a stream away that I normally would have done. So maybe I'll actually do like a segment of Like a Dragon during the stream that day. And yes, it'll be part of the playthrough, but I'll be dressed up like a football player, which will be pretty funny. I'll also be drinking when I play it. I think that would be pretty fun. So that's what I'm thinking. So we're going to do this Super Bowl simulation match in Madden 24. And maybe we'll do a little bit of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. It doesn't have to be a long segment. Maybe like an hour and a half tops, right? Just to make progress in that. So that way we're heading towards Dondoko Island. This is all good stuff. So it's coming together. Let's see what... I really would like to play Call of Duty. You know, I haven't played it in a while now. And there's supposed to be new content like the 7th, February 7th. They're releasing new maps and stuff. So it would be cool to see it for the first time. And maybe, again, having a drink or two, being buzzed and trying to play Call of Duty could be pretty funny. So I think maybe we should do that. I'm just saying that would be something cool for it, too. Yeah. Exactly. Team deathmatch, some domination, maybe kill confirm. Just messing around, right? Bookworm says the only downside is you have to make story progress to unlock guests for the island. I am aware of that. I'm totally aware of that. The whole idea is once we unlock Dondoko Island, the intro can be done on Valentine's Day night. And then as I continue to play the game, I'll unlock things in that island while playing the game, and that'll allow me to do more stuff once a week when I play it with my wife, you see? So I think that'll work well. And see, Tub says, what about the new free-to-play shooter? If you're talking about Helldivers, I'm not going to play it any extended amount. I feel like it would be more comfortable just to play Call of Duty and mess around than try to jump into a totally new game for like an hour during a marathon. I don't think that really makes sense. Okay. All right. Anyway, there you go. That's what's going on, everybody. That's the plan. I don't really have, there's no news today. There's nothing really crazy, no big topics to talk about. What I'd like to do is a couple shout outs, and then we'll see what you guys want to chat about for the rest of the show. All right. So first of all, our first contribution of the day was from The Lucky Gremlin, which was a $2 super chat, and they said, thank you for Silent Hill content. Good luck. Yeah, Lucky Gremlin had mentioned earlier in the chat that they had wanted to do a super thanks on the Silent Hill videos, but because comments were disabled, they can't do that. And I was like, yeah, you see, it's fucked up. I don't know why it was disabling comments. I'm looking right now, and they're on. So, I don't get it. I'm as confused as you guys as why comments were disabled. But they seem to be enabled now, okay? So hopefully it stays stuck on, saved on, okay? Also, thank you to Y Susha, or Isusha 116 for a super chat. I think part of it is because they're always working so hard they don't have time for a real relationship. Oh, I know, and we've talked about this. 100% we've talked about this over the years as I played the Yakuza games, that in Japan, it seems like a lot of the people there, especially in their culture, their belief system, is that your career, your job, and your success in employment is more important than your personal life. Like, it's great to have a family. It's great to have a significant other and kids or whatever. But what's more important is to have a successful career first. In the United States, I'll be honest with you guys, it's the polar opposite. There's tons of people in this country who don't have stable employment. They're unemployed and they still have families, okay? Now, if that's right or wrong, hey, that's on you to address yourself internally with your morality, okay? Everyone's going to have a different opinion on that, and we're not here to discuss that today, all right? But, I mean, when you really think about it, okay, does it make sense that your whole life should be a job, right? Like, listen, I love my job right now. Being a YouTuber, which I have been now full-time for 13 years, has been the best job I've ever had. And I have devoted my time, effort, and a ton of blood, sweat, and tears to this job, okay? But this is not the end-all and be-all of me. As you well know, I have a personal life outside of this room, outside of this chair, off of this stream, that is different from what you see here. There's tons of stuff in my life behind the scenes of what you see here that's just as meaningful, if not more meaningful to me than what you see right here, you know? And I think everyone should have that. Everyone in life should have what you call a work-life balance and a separation of the personal from the professional. I think sadly in Japan, they don't feel that way. That's a cultural difference between here and there. To them, their existence is their employment. Their existence is their career and their job success. And I don't think that's healthy or a meaningful way to go through life at all, right? What if your whole life you're working for a big corporation, right? So your whole life you bust your ass, you make the company a bunch of money, great, but all you are is you're a number on a spreadsheet, right? You're a cog in a machine. The company never really cared about you, never really acknowledged you, but hey, you had employment your whole life. Is that what you really want to have as your mark on this planet? Is that all you did is you worked for a company and they paid you? Like, what kind of existence is that? You know? Don't you want to have people whose lives you touched, who feel like it's meaningful that you had an interaction with them or a relationship with them, and that their life was improved because they knew you? Wouldn't you rather have it that people say, wow, that person is a positive influence and they really made their mark on society or humanity as a whole, right? And as crazy as it is to think, I've been a YouTuber for 15 years, right? Even with all the people on the internet who very irrationally hate me for no good reason, there's people who have come out, you know, on a daily basis and said to me, hey, we love what you do. You have touched us in a positive way. This is why we come by and hang out with you and have meaningful conversation and good streams and social interactions. And this is why we support you and want you to keep going. We find your story inspirational. I have made my mark on this planet. Whether or not many people know about it, I have positively influenced people. I've been doing the right thing, you see? And I know that. But at the same time, this isn't all of me. I have my own personal life too outside of this room, right? So that's what I mean. Like, to me, that's success. That's true success in life. But in Japan, it's just like hyper focus. And they're so hyper focused. Oh, I don't have time to seek out a relationship with another human. I'll never have a family. I'll never, you know what I mean? I'll never have, like, what? To me, that's just crazy talk. Like, sorry, but employment is not the end-all be-all of human existence. I mean, just the idea of employment probably is recent in human history, right? That you're a paid employee, a willing employee of someone. So how you can make that the end-all be-all of everything you do, and I don't have time for a real relationship. That's wild. But yet you have time to go to the Hostess Cafe, open your wallet, and dump all of your money onto someone who literally is saying to you, this is fake. But then again, people do this with streamers all the time. You know, when you're watching a streamer, you're never going to have a personal romantic relationship with the streamer on the other end, but people act like they do, and then they dump thousands of dollars on these women. It's wild and insane what people do. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's a whole cultural thing. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Thank you to Y Susha for the super chat. Okay, continuing on. Jade, I will see you tomorrow for Tekken. That sounds good to me. Okay. Let's get to tip side of support today. We start off today with a $5 tip from Gaia1. Nightbot put me in timeout for talking about Pokemon, but I think you're back, correct, Gaia? Yeah, I don't know why it would have put you in timeout. Nightbot has certain words that are like common words that it doesn't like, and then it has other words that have been like detractor memes over the years. A lot of them are set up from years and years ago from moderators that aren't even with me anymore. You know, they basically sat there and made like a list of no words for detractor memes and shit like that, so people couldn't just come into the chat and spam them. I have absolutely no idea what the word you used is that would have gotten you timed out, but I think you're back, so I think it's all good. Thank you for the tip, and sorry that happened. I received a $5 tip from Axel. Hey, Phil, I know you're really struggling. I hope you pull through. You won't see me again. I'm actually ready to kind of clock off. Your Street Fighter 6 streams have been great. Well, there you go. To Axel, who I guess is saying that we're not going to really see Axel anymore. It's all good. Axel, thank you for the $5 tip. I'm glad that you enjoyed the Street Fighter 6 coverage. And, you know, I kind of knew that this would happen. This happens from time to time. Okay? Someone will come by when I'm doing a particular playthrough or I'm doing a particular style of game, and they'll really enjoy themselves. And they'll watch and they'll support. But then, when I move on, right, and I do other kinds of content, they're like, well, honestly, I'm not really into that other content, right? And the thing is, I totally get that, all right? I've gone through that personally in my life. I've been a fan of something, and then kind of either you get burnt out on it, or, either you get burnt out on it, or maybe it's just not as entertaining to you anymore. In this case, that doesn't even seem to be the case. It's just I'm not playing the game this person likes, Street Fighter 6 anymore. I hear ya. Now, the good news is, I'm a variety content creator, and I eventually am going to get back to Street Fighter 6. You know, there's going to be DLC characters. Now, am I going to rush back to Ed when he comes out in Street Fighter 6? Probably not. I think I would prefer to play Tekken 8 for a while, and then maybe eventually go back to Street Fighter 6. But Street Fighter 6 will have, like, Akuma. I'll be very interested in him. Street Fighter 6 is going to have a Season 2 update, and I'll be playing it for that as well. I don't know if I'll invest as much time into it as I did Season 1, but I definitely, you know, I put enough time into that game that it makes sense to go back to it from time to time and enjoy it, right? So, I know there's an audience for that as well. You sound like one of the people who really like that, and sadly now you're kind of turned off because there's no more Street Fighter. I hear you, all right? So, that's all well and good. And I thank you very much for your support, Axel. I remembered that you had tipped a bit over the last few months, and I wish you the best. Come on back when you're ready to hang out again. you know, continue to watch the stuff at your own leisure. I appreciate that you supported as long as you did. Thank you so very much. Okay. Excuse me. Let's see here. I think we are caught up for now. Yes. So as of now, we're caught up. If you guys would like to ask a question for this Q&A segment, go ahead and tag me in the chat, and let's see what you guys want to talk about this morning. More laid-back podcast. Or if a contribution comes in, I will shout it out. Okay? So let's see what's on everybody's mind. Now, keep in mind, today's React Day. Any contributions being made apply to the React stream as well. So if we got $10, this $10 sticks for the React stream. You're still going to get your reward tiers there if we hit them on the React stream. It's not going to reset back to 0 or anything. So if you contribute now, it counts for that stream. I just want to make that abundantly clear. You know, I know I'm streaming literally on 3 different channels today. Okay? Prisoner said, I spent $100 on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now I can't get back a refund. I feel robbed. Did you get it on console? Console, man. It's hard to get a refund. The only time I ever got a refund on console was Mortal Kombat 1 because I had pre-ordered it and then I didn't realize that there was going to be a better version where you could play it early. So I refunded the earlier pre-order and then I got the better version and I played it early and then I regretted it anyway because the game was not good. So I kind of like got shot in the foot there anyway after having done that. But outside of that, I have never really sought any kind of a refund. So I'm not really sure. By the way, Madden 24 just downloaded. If you heard a sound, that's what that was. It's downloaded for the Super Bowl Bash, which I'm excited for. So, but yeah. So I wonder what version you got that you got stuck not being able to get a refund. $100 for that game is ridiculous. I mean, holy shit. Okay. No, I've not heard anything about a new Puppet Master game based on the horror series. Brainlet says, do YouTube channels that make content solely based off your own content bother you? And if so, do you think you will ever do anything to try and stop the channels? First of all, if a channel's literal source of content is me, that's pretty pathetic. If you have absolutely nothing creative to do, you have nothing to offer an audience but to talk about me and make fun of me, that's sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was one thing that the person commented on or did, that I can understand. But if you're literally just 100%, let's restream Phil every day. Let's make fun of Phil every day. Let's slander Phil every day. I mean, that's a loserish mentality. I can't believe anyone would even watch that. How could you follow a loser? This is someone who all they have to do is defame somebody. That's it. There's been people out there who've done this, and then they tried to do their own content, and it failed miserably. No one will watch them do their own content because they have no charisma. They have no talent. All they're good at is being toxic. So all they actually get popularity for is dumping on me, okay? Now, would I ever do anything about those people? No. Because, first of all, you have to understand something. Legally, everything's just a gray area. There have been very few situations where someone's gone to court or sued about any of this stuff. Could you argue that someone using my content without my permission is fair use? Yes. But with the level of defamation, slander, or however you want to categorize it, that's thrown at me on a daily basis. Technically, if I wanted to, would I have a case against a lot of these people? Yes, I absolutely legally would. I can tell you I've spoken to a lawyer about it, and the lawyer said, yes, you absolutely have a case. The problem is, you can't just have YouTube stop it. You would have to, like, for example, let's say there was someone who was egregious. What if there was someone, and this hasn't happened, by the way. What if someone literally was saying, Darkseid Phil's a murderer, right? He's a bloody murderer, right? Now, that's really messed up. And it's egregious to say that unless you have evidence, right? But just like everything on the internet, people could say whatever they want on YouTube and get away with it. If that were the case, you could sue them for slander, or I forget if it's slander or defamation. It's one or the other. I always get the two confused. And if I sued them, then YouTube would take down their content, okay? The problem is, there's literally so many people on a daily basis that say messed up stuff about me that is not true, or is based on this tiny little fact that then they extrapolate into complete nonsense that's not true. You know, take this one little thing that happened on stream, then add 17 hours of just hypotheses and conspiracy to say this is what it really is when it's not. That's considered defamation or slander. In some countries, it's illegal completely. In the country of India, you can't even do it. if you do it, you will go get shut down and arrested and sued into oblivion. And that's why in India, you don't see this kind of shit ever happen. They don't allow it over there. Their whole legal system is anti-defamation. Now, the problem is, so many people have jumped on this bandwagon, all right, that I could never be able to go after them all. I mean, the best I could ever do would be to try to find maybe the most egregious person that said the most nonsense about me over the years and go after them. But even then, the thing you don't understand is that most of my haters and detractors are not big-time guys on YouTube. Let's say I singled out one person who I felt really was harmful to me in my business for what they had said over the years, and I sued them for defamation or slander, whatever it is. You gotta basically go after them and not only get their content taken down, but then you gotta go after them for damages. Like, realistically, dollar sign amount, how much did they hurt your reputation? How much did they do this or that? How do you figure that out? Exactly. Because you don't know. And for every one person you sue, if there was 100 others doing it, it's like a drop in the bucket. And sadly, the way the legal system's set up, you would have to go after all of them to shut them all down. Because even if you shut down one, there's going to be another 99. Do you see? So it's kind of like the Hydra. If there's a Hydra out there and it's attacking you and you chop off one of its heads, well, now instead of having 3 heads, it grows 2 more. Now it has 4, right? So from what I've seen over the years, the best way to go about this kind of nonsense is very simple. You just ignore it. You can't do much about it. There is no real... This is still the Wild West of the internet. As much as people want to pretend like, oh, the internet is safe and there's laws hashed out, there's nothing. And I mean it too. How is DMCA, copyright, abused so regularly on a daily basis? Because the laws are draconian. They're not written for the current internet and they don't apply to it. So now everyone's just trying to fly by the seat of their pants figuring out how to handle it, when in reality we have no legal guidelines on how to really do copyright stuff on the internet. And it's the same thing here with this slander or defamation or whatever you want to call it. Okay? Essentially, there's just nothing that can be done about it in its current form. Maybe one day, in 100 years, when everyone has been so toxic on the internet and people are really significantly getting their lives destroyed as a result of it, right? Maybe then something will be done. Laws will be put in place. Safeguards will be put. YouTube won't allow it anymore. If you report a level of harassment, they'll shut it down. Right now, nobody cares. YouTube doesn't shut anything down. You know what they say? Go ahead and sue. And if you sue, then we'll shut stuff down, and that's it. YouTube doesn't want to be a middleman involved in any of it. They feel, because there's this law that protects them in the United States against liability for uploads, they feel they're not responsible for anything on their site. If you report it, then, you know, they'll go after it, but only if you report it and you also have a lawsuit attached to it. Because there's been people who've gone out there and reported stuff that's been very negative, and YouTube does nothing. They don't care. Only if you're going to sue do they then care and take it down. So, first of all, I'm not a litigious guy. I'm not some guy that gets so upset that people are talking shit about him. At least not anymore. You know, maybe back in the day, in 2011, when This Is How You Don't Play started, yeah, it irked me. Because back then, here was a guy, I'm trying to make a living. I'm a one-man show. There's no guidelines on how to do it right. And I'm really busting my ass. At this point in my life, you know, I'm working insane amounts to pump out videos for people. And now you got people saying, all of a sudden, like overnight, my content's crap. Oh, you never should have deserved success. You're a joke and la, la, la. And I reacted poorly to it, right? And so back then, it became the running meme to say, oh, Phil sucks, and here's another video about another case where he sucks. Today, I don't give 2 shits about these people. I don't. All I want to do is I want to be here making my content for my audience. I call it curated content. Why? Because it's not content for the mainstream. It's not content for the masses. It's not intended to be. I'm not pumping out a YouTube video that's made to be virally popular, that's, you know, the worst moment in gaming ever, with a stupid, oh, crazy face thumbnail on it. And, you know, I don't do that kind of content, and I never will. You know, I've never been that kind of a content creator. I have no intention of ever being that kind of a content creator. Yeah, so that's what I mean. I'm just happy to make the kind of content I enjoy making for my audience and just be successful at that as a small-time guy. I have no aspirations of blowing up or anything like that. Therefore, let everyone out there say and do whatever they want about me, all right? I'm not going to sit here and combat it all. And the thing is, because I've had that laid-back attitude for many years now, there has now been allowed to be insane levels of conspiracy about me. Because there's a difference between a drama video making fun of someone or a conspiracy video. And the vast majority of stuff that's now being put out about me is literal conspiracy. Okay? June the King is currently working on a documentary about me. But he's actually trying to approach it from a standpoint where he wants to neutrally cover everything that's been said about me. Can you imagine the task he has on his plate? He has to go through thousands of hours of crap about me to even figure out what any of it makes any sense. And you know, because again, how much has been said about me, how many things have been made up, and he has to like find a way to present it to make logical sense to an audience when you really can't, because it's a lot of it's just fucking insanity, you know? So I don't at all, I don't envy that man. He's going to have a lot of work going into this thing he's trying to do about me. This is going to be like a 5-hour documentary. Because again, the funny part about it is I just sit here and I make my content and I ignore everything on the outside. Just alone in the last week, I'm almost positive there's been like 3 complete drama things that my haters have made about me, and I don't pay any attention to it. You know, 3 big conspiracies that they made up and they've hyped, and they're clickbait video. I don't care. I'm not going to go after those people. There's no point. It won't work. It'll be too expensive, too much time, frivolous. YouTube doesn't care. You know, there's a million things here about ever having this protected. It's kind of like, you got to accept on YouTube that if you were going to ever make a living doing this, you're going to have people being negative about you. Now, if you blow up to a certain extent, you'll be immune. I never got there. I got to the point where I was like on the precipice of possibly blowing up, and then I didn't want to. I made a decision for myself that I wanted to stay true to who I was and make the content that I liked. I didn't want to take that extra step to be Mr. in the know, Mr. gets everything handed to him, silver spoon in the mouth, free games left and right, promotional opportunities all over. I turned them all down. I had them. In 2011 and 2012, I was known as one of the top partners of Machinima, and I was getting offered trips. I was getting offered games. I was getting offered promotional opportunities, and I turned them down. I said, I don't want to be involved with this. I want to be true to me. I don't want people to think that when I play a game, it's because I'm getting paid to do it. I want people to trust my opinion. And I've had people like Turkey Tom make videos saying 10 years of failure. See, he didn't follow the trends. You're right. I didn't on purpose. I didn't want to sell out and be like those people. And there are people who literally will just say, well, see, he missed out on grabbing the bag and walking away, and he's a failure. I don't think so. I think that I'm just a different kind of person and a different kind of animal altogether as a content creator. And a lot of people just can't fathom that in their brains because their brains are very limited. They have a very limited concept of what success is in life, and they think that it's all based around money and clicks, and it's not. They don't understand that what I do today, I love more than anything I've ever done before, and is more meaningful to me and my audience than any kind of trash I could have put out there for the last decade, being one of the big YouTubers taking paychecks for everything. You see? So, it is what it is. But, hey, I'm happy. These people are going to constantly be talking about me, and there's nothing I can do about it. And as much as you can argue that, hey, this is bad, Phil, because don't you understand that every day when someone's making a conspiracy up about you, this is something that looks negative towards you. You're right. I can't argue that. But at the same time, I'm still pertinent. You get it? Like, I'm still pertinent every day. Why is it that a guy who gets a few hundred views on a stream and a few hundred views on each upload is in the mouths of giant YouTubers? Right? Why does Moist Critical name drop me? Why can't Keemstar stop talking about me? Right? It's interesting to think, right? It's like, this guy should be a nobody, but he's actually a somebody. There's probably a reason for that. All right? Maybe I did some things right over the years. People just can't, again, they can't understand that I didn't want to be what they became. Anyway, no, I'm not going after anybody, ever. Like, again, the only time ever is if someone egregiously was saying something horrendous, like it feels a murderer or something like that. I'd be like, fuck you, man. No, that ain't gonna fly. But outside of that, there's no reason to ever go after anyone on YouTube for this stuff. I've never filed a lawsuit. I'm not going to. There's no point. It's never going to work regardless. Like I said, it's never going to happen. So, okay. Let's see here. I received a $25 tip. From 1 minute man, he says there was a German word beginning with H you didn't understand yesterday. Right. So what you're saying is that was the German word for immoral person who has sexual relations for money. He's referencing something from the first part of Silent Hill, because this game takes place in Germany and there was a German word. I was like, what's that? And now people were trying to explain during the playthrough what it was. Got it. Okay. So he says, in real life, many hostesses in Japanese establishments are ordinary people just doing a job. Some of them can be pleasant company. You need a particular mindset not common among Westerners to appreciate this tradition, and you don't have to spend a fortune, just a few drinks. You're right. I don't think I'm ever going to understand the mindset. I'm sorry. I don't want to pay for friendship or fake romance, whatever it is, because maybe some people understand this is not romance. This is just human companionship, correct? And so when you seek out human companionship and social interaction, and if you're so busy you can't actually have a real life friend, right? You go to the club and you pay for it. But I would never in my life once pay for a conversation. Never. You'll never see me paying for a conversation. No. So, again, maybe that's just, you're right. It's a cultural difference, perhaps, right? It's something that, again, in their country is accepted and here it's not. I don't get it. I never will. You know, there's just a lot of weird stuff of this kind of mentality. The whole waifu thing and the husbando thing. I don't get that either. And again, maybe it's because I grew up a certain way. I'm from a certain culture. And, you know, the thing is, I'm not going to play Yakuza and be like, wow, what an entire country of losers. I'm not going to say that. If it's part of the culture, if it's part of that lifestyle, I kind of get it. Right? I understand. Okay. It's something that I'm never going to understand or appreciate or partake in or enjoy or necessarily even fully get. But at least I can understand that it's part of their culture and respect that and not be a jerk about it. You know, if you like waifus, go for it. I'm not going to tell you not to. At the same time, I'm not interested in it. I don't understand it. Respect my opinion too. If I don't understand the hostess culture, understand that, and then don't ask me to play the hostess minigame in a Yakuza game for 7 hours because I don't enjoy it. It's stupid, in my opinion. I really do think it's dumb. So there you go. But, yeah, I don't know. Again, it seems like this is a topic we could talk about endlessly, right? It really does. It's just this whole cultural differences between countries and stuff is huge. And by the way, that's just Japan and the US. I'm sure there's tons of things across the world that are like this, that are just completely different cultural things that we don't understand. And it would blow our minds to actually talk about them across bodies of water and land masses that, you know, we're not even attached, right? How crazy is it that today we can have these conversations over the internet? Because if we didn't have the internet, we would never have them. No one would even know that it's like that. Imagine a tourist going to Japan. They wouldn't even know what this thing is. They'd walk in and be like, where the fuck am I? Wait, what are we doing? I'm buying drinks for someone now? Like, huh? Like, I thought this was just like a nightclub. I walked in here, all of a sudden I'm sitting down at a table with other people. I'm buying them drinks and gifts. Like, what is happening here? All right? It's pretty crazy. Isn't that the whole Twitch model? You know, I don't know. Again, I feel like for some people it is. We already just talked about that. Yes, I do feel like there's some people who turn on a stream and their whole idea is to portray to you that now you are having some kind of a close, intimate, personal relationship with them, so send them money. You don't have a close, personal, intimate relationship with me. we're acquaintances. A lot of you I know by name, and we hang out every day, and we have a good time enjoying something like games or reacting to similar content that we like, and you like seeing my reactions to stuff, and I appreciate that. Basically, what you're telling me is you like who I am as a person, you respect my opinions, you want to hear more, right? That's the relationship we have. Never do I come in here and say, hey guys, so if you want to be my close personal friend, you know, and I'm not sitting here flirting with you in order to get you to send me stuff, like that would be so disingenuous. You know what I'm saying? I really feel that way. I mean, if that were the case, day one, I would have been in the hot tub with the inflatable pickle Rick, you know. But I'm not, you know. That's just not how I am. I'm trying to represent who I am accurately to you. If you like my opinions, if you like my personality, if you like the content I make with video games, if you like the react shows, then please support them. But you understand that's what I'm doing. This is not me lying to you and saying, hey, this is a virtual friendship now, so send me money. You know, it's not the case. I've never said that to anyone, you know. I do feel like, it's funny because I'll say, hey, my friends, welcome to the stream. And some people will say, oh, Phil's my close personal friend. I mean, no, I'm not. But, you know, it's a casual thing you say to people who you hang out with all the time, right? You got to be careful because, you know, what if there's people out there who get the wrong impression? That's happened many, many years ago. When I first started on YouTube, there were a couple people who were kind of obsessed. And I kind of had to have a conversation with them and be like, you got to take a step back. This is a little weird and wild the way, you know, you're acting here. You know, I'm not the end all be all of existence on this planet. You got to stop obsessing about me and go out and get a life for yourself. Because you're not going to have a real life relationship with me. That's wild that you would think that. Two people who've never met are going to have this wild relationship. It's never going to happen, right? That's just crazy to me. So, yeah, again, yeah, I agree with you. In Twitch streaming culture and other streaming cultures, absolutely, people will do that. They'll portray themselves. And again, these girls who flirt with their audiences, and then these fucking guys open their wallets to them. That's despicable. That is despicable, immoral, disgusting fucking behavior. And it shouldn't be allowed. But it is, because it brings in the money for these streaming services, so they allow it. These guys, you know, we say, what's the term? Simping, right? They're simping for these women because they're weak-minded. And they don't have any real-life relationship with anyone. So this is their version of the hostess club. Only this is a girl who's on the internet in front of a camera acting, and people just fall for it, and just, here we go. Whoop! Here comes millionaires. These girls are millionaires. Think of how insane that is. This is not the hostess club, you know? This is a girl in front of a webcam making millions of dollars from Sims. It's like, oh my God, man. But again, you look at me, and you're going to yell at me and say that stuff that I do is bad. What about the entire culture of abuse and taking advantage of these people, these gullible people? How about you focus on the real evils of this whole internet culture rather than just some guy sitting around talking with an audience playing games every day, normal dude, right? I just don't get it. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Anything else you'd like to talk about before we wrap this up and we get set up for the react show for today? Excuse me. And yes, I will say this. If anyone out there feels that I am their husbando, you're wrong. Get a clue, get a life. Stop. Stop obsessing. I am a husband to my wife forever. All right? That's not going to change. I'm not your husbando. I'm not your crush. You're wasting your time. Move on. There you go. I don't know how more outright plain I could say that to the internet. All right? Cool. All right. I'll see you on DSP Reacts, Derek. Sounds good. I'll see you later, Kathleen, wherever you're going. Yeah, now all of a sudden they're doing another Sony State of Play this week for Final Fantasy VII, right? Is that true? It's like out of nowhere, they're doing like a state of play every week now. It's like, do you think that's enough? When is it? Because I'm going to be streaming, right? They keep scheduling these things when I've already got a full week scheduled, and they're like, oh, we're going to do another state of play in a few days. It's like, okay. Sure, I guess. I mean, I'm excited because it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I'm excited for. It's one of my most anticipated games of the year, but I don't, do I want to drop a whole stream to fucking watch this? No. No, I don't. The 7th. So again, it's Wednesday. It's probably the same time as the one they did last week, right? I'll be playing Baldur's Gate. Okay, I have an interesting question. This game Stellar Blade that's coming out, is it from the same makers of Ninja Blade from many years ago? Because for some reason, I had this thing stuck in my head from ages ago, over a decade ago. I was like, what is it? It's nagging at me. And then I realized there was this game many, many years ago called Ninja Blade that came out. And this was back during my earlier years as a YouTuber. And I didn't really know what the games were to play, so I would ask my audience. And a bunch of people had bothered me about playing Ninja Blade. And I said, nah, I'm just going to skip that one. And all of a sudden, like, there was a movement where people were going into my video comments and everything. They were putting, Ninja Blade. Are you playing Ninja Blade? Play Ninja Blade. What about Ninja Blade? How about Ninja Blade? Ninja Blade, Ninja Blade, Ninja Blade. Everywhere I looked, there was Ninja Blade. And I was like, I'm not playing it. I don't know why you keep, like, bothering me about it. I'm just not interested in it. So, I just thought that it was pretty funny that I heard that. And I was like, oh, okay. Is it the same game? Ninja Blade, Stellar Blade? Because they both have blade in them. And there's a similar kind of gameplay or something like that, right? I think. Ninja Blade was from FromSoft? It was? Oh, I never even heard about that. That's what Google says. People search Ninja Blade on Google and it says that it was a FromSoft game. Oh. I don't know. I've never heard of it. I've literally never heard of it. Am I good with Sagat in Street Fighter 3? He's not in Street Fighter 3. Sagat is in Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5. He's not in 3. Stellar Blade is from a recent South Korean developer. Okay. Got it. So, not related. Okay. Fair enough. Oh, you meant Street Fighter 4? In Street Fighter 4, in vanilla Street Fighter 4, meaning the original release, Sagat was the best character. Because he could do a Tiger Uppercut, and because that game had FADC, which is Focus Attack Dash Canceling. If he hit you with a Tiger Uppercut, he could dash cancel out of it, and immediately do a juggle into Super that did a wild, not properly scaled amount of damage. It was by far the easiest way to destroy someone in the game. You could be completely behind, land one Tiger Uppercut and do 60% damage. It was broken into holy hell. Then they rebalanced the game, and in future versions, he was terrible. They basically nerfed his damage output so much that he wasn't even worth using anymore, and he was never good again. So he went from being ultimate best character, ultimate top tier, to bottom of the barrel, no one uses him. So, there you go. Lady Christmas says, before Dark Souls, FromSoft made a lot of random games, a lot of hidden gems in there. Interesting. He Hate Me, he says, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth is getting better and better. Do you agree? Yes. The further in we get, the more content is unlocking and the game's actually getting better. The combat's getting better. Now that we're leveling up and getting new abilities. Keep in mind, we haven't even gotten the job system unlocked yet, and it's still really good. Excuse me. Yes, that's correct. Usagi Jojo says Sagat would trade when someone else was jumping in. He would do massive damage and do more damage than the trade would. No, that's right. So basically, if anyone jumped on Sagat, he was guaranteed to deal like 50% damage to them with zero effort. He didn't have to time anything. Just do a Tiger Uppercut at some point. Okay, time to win the match now. Like, oh. Why does it take forever for games to come out now? Depends. A lot of games are just ginormous in scope. I mean, look at games 10 years ago. Probably the average game length was 10 to 20 hours. Now, average game length is probably 20 to 40 hours within a decade. I mean, you're doubling the length of games. And that's going to add, you know, to a lot of things. The environmental design, the mission structure, the amount of voiceovers needed, the amount of assets needed. It's just a lot more work. A lot of these games now have ginormous bajillion-dollar budgets. Okay, not really bajillion, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, games now have become the biggest business, and a lot of these games with these insane budgets, they're going to take forever to come out. You know, the flip side of that is you can have your yearly Madden, your yearly Call of Duty, your nearly yearly Assassin's Creed, and you see what's happened with that, where those franchises have devolved into just pumping out the same content every year with a new facelift, and it's crap, right? So it's like, do you want to take your time and have to wait insanely long for a great game to come out, but then it takes too long? Or do you want to have crap come out every year and it sucks, right? Tub says, the job system's expensive. One of the classes is $1,600. I'm not sure what best way to grind money is yet. Dondoko Island. No exaggeration. That's why people are doing Dondoko Island. Because when you do it, I think people are saying it takes around 10 hours to beat the whole island. And when you max it, you get like $35,000 to $40,000. And you can immediately then go sink that into the jobs, into high-end equipment. That's what everyone's doing playing the game. So, any thoughts on Xbox going multi-platform? Would there be a point to buying an Xbox when everything's on PlayStation? Well, number one, the games are not going day one to PlayStation. If you haven't noticed, the games that are going to go multi-platform have already had time to be Xbox exclusive, and then they're going to PlayStation, okay? If it was day one, every game is cross-platform, that's a Microsoft game, you're right, there would be a hard sell for the value of an Xbox because you could buy a PlayStation and have all the Xbox games plus the PlayStation exclusives, right? But you can't get Game Pass on a Sony console because you're going through the PlayStation Store, correct? So there's the Game Pass value argument, and Game Pass is a huge value. Every month you're getting your online play bundled with a bunch of free games, lots of high-profile games you don't have to pay for. Like, no exaggeration, Game Pass has saved me hundreds upon hundreds of dollars in the last few years. I pay, what, $18 a month? And every month I'm accessing games on there for free. Like, right now, I'm currently playing Pal World. I'm currently playing, well, it was playing Sea of Stars. I'll get back to it. I'm now going to play Madden 24 for the Football Bash Marathon event, right? So just right there, right now, staring at my Xbox console, I've got 3 games that I would have had. Like, I would have had to buy Pal World, I would have had to buy Sea of Stars, and I wouldn't even be able to play this Madden because I wouldn't have bought it. I would have had to do a crappy Madden. You know what I'm saying? Baldur's Gate 3? Well, that's Baldur's Gate 3 is on there, but it's not Game Pass. Baldur's Gate 3 is, you have to still buy. But you see the point I'm making. Like, there's a value added there. And I think there's going to be people who are going to want the Xbox console for that value. And maybe others don't care about that value. They just want the most games on one console, and they'll get a PlayStation. And that's fine, too. I still feel like you still need both consoles. If you want the Xbox exclusives at launch and the Game Pass value, you got to have the Xbox. If you want the Sony exclusives, you got to have the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 is still the place to be for fighting games, although most fighting games now are going cross-platform, so it's not a big deal. But can you imagine if you bought Mortal Kombat 1 on Xbox because they said it was going to be cross-platform, and now here we are February of the next year, and they still didn't do it? They lied. They outright lied to their audience. What a nice guys, huh? Thanks, Ed Boon. Anyway. All right, guys, last chance. If you have any questions or a contribution you'd like to get shout out now, before we head over to the React show, And keep in mind, like I said, this stuff carries over to the React show, so this $35 stays, you know, to hit those rewards for that React show. It would be great to hit those today. Considering I'm doing reacting all day long, I have no clue how the stream on DSP Throwback is going to go. It could go really well. It could be slow. I don't know. We've only done one before, and it was Red Dead 2 weeks ago. But, I mean, that was kind of like the gimmick. It was the premiere stream, and it did good. I wonder how Dark Souls 1 will do tonight. I guess we'll see. So, if you like this React stuff, please support it today, okay? Thank you. And, last chance. Anyone last thoughts, or shall we get set up for the show? Shall we get ready, as they say? And by the way, I hope you guys got your clips in. I warned you, you got to submit your clips for the React show by the end of my late stream on Saturday night. Last week, there was 2 people who posted up super late and didn't get into the show. I hope people posted it this week in time. I hate doing that, but I have to put my foot down. I can't have people submitting clips 5 minutes before the show starts and expect they're going to be on the show. You got to have some kind of a rule set so people know the way of how it goes, and, you know, got to be strict about that, or else you got people who are going to abuse it. So, oh, I know. Usagi Jojo says, your classic Dark Souls videos have so many funny moments. I can't imagine what we're going to see tonight, because, again, I'm not someone who goes back and watches my old content. I never really did. The only time I ever watched a classic Dark Souls playthrough was when I was making Project 7 in 2012. Actually, that was late 2011. And I was going through to find the funniest moment. And everyone said the funniest moment was when I said, oh, I'm liking and getting the hang of this. I'm liking this. And I walk off the cliff and die. So I remember that moment. Outside of that, I don't remember any moments from that playthrough. So for me, it's going to be a genuine first time. Wow, we're watching this back together and we're going to see how it was. You got to remember, Dark Souls 1 has a slow start. You start off at the Asylum, right? And then once you beat the Asylum, which is actually tough for a newbie, then you get teleported to the real game, and you got to go through the whole first level before you can even get to Firelink, right? So we've got a ways to even get to that base. I don't even know how it's going to go. The same bobblehead as always. We got the Fallout Vault Boy bobblehead, and we've got the commemorative Sonic the Hedgehog figure given to me by a fan at a convention many, many years ago. I believe it was for, at that point, like his 20th anniversary. No. Sonic the Hedgehog 15th anniversary figure given to me by a fan at a convention, and I still have it. At this point, what, is he celebrating like his 30th anniversary? I think he is, right? It's pretty wild. When did Sonic the Hedgehog come out? Actually, he may be older than 30 now, so holy shit, that thing is old, huh? That figure's pretty dang old. All right, guys. I think it is time. Oh, what's up, Casanova? How's it going? Oh, Casanova. One of the clips you keep submitting for the show, I can't watch. It's that one where the monkey is doing ASMR. I think it's funny. We can't watch it. It's flagged for kids. So I can't even add it to a playlist. YouTube doesn't allow it. They won't let you monetize it. Like, it's a real thing. I wanted to let you know because I was doing the videos last night and I saw it was like 3rd week in a row you wanted to watch it. I think it's a good clip, but we can't watch it. So don't keep wasting a spot on that one because I want you to submit 2 clips a week, okay? Yeah, they flagged it as a kids-only video. A monkey doing ASMR noises is a kids-only video, according to YouTube. Anyway. I know, pretty stupid. All right. The 30th was 3 years ago. His debut was 1991. Holy shit. So this figure is crazy old, right? This figure is almost 20 years old then. Wow. This figure is like 18 years old. Holy shit. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching the show. Let's end the show. And let's get set up. Let's get going for today's DSP versus the Internet 50th episode. Stick around. If you're live on stream, you'll see a pop-up that says, hey, go over to the React channel. And I sure hope that you will. If not, if you're watching this on demand, I hope you'll check out all my React stuff from today. And I'll see you all tomorrow when we're back here on DSP Gaming for a full, fun day of gameplay content, including Tekken 8 and Like a Dragon. All right, guys, thanks so much. Peace out. Be safe. See ya on Monday.